nice. That's a nice image there, Ernie.
Right, hey, Robbo, we just had to do this. Bro. Did you notice the T-shirt, man?
I noticed the T-shirt, but what I've noticed is that T-shirt don't fit you too well now.
No, because you know what I mean. We kind of slimmed down because the game is this Sunday, and we kind of had to lose some weight and get in shape for it, bro.
Oh, you're getting in shape for a game. That's great. That's great. Listen, shout out to everybody that's going to be locking in now.
Yeah, man.
Myself and the great one, Daddy Ernie. You can tell by the shirts who we're repping, but obviously we are going to be repping as Ernie drew to the fact earlier on. It's supposed to be the world's biggest football match.
Yes, the world's biggest club game, they reckon.
Yeah, well, listen, it's the world's biggest game.
Yeah.
Wait to get a team bigger than Liverpool.
What are you talking about? What are you
Maybe
talking
Brazil.
Manchester United that makes the game big. It's Manchester because you're playing Manchester United. That's what makes the game big. Anything other than that, and the game ain't big. You know that, Robbo.
Well, listen, man. We'll be talking about what makes the game big. I know for most people, now at home watching football, we're just about getting a smidgen of real football excitement. We're not getting like the football of the past, but hopefully a fixture, Liverpool, Manchester United, will bring out that emotion, even though there's no fans.
Yes.
So we got to do it for the fans. This is why me and Ernie decide that we're gonna, because every year I take £20 off him for about the last 5 years, been betting him taking £20.
Come on now, it's the last couple of years.
Huh? We said the last year.
I know it's my man Fidel is in already. Staunch Manchester United supporter. He reckons 3-1 United. I think he's going a little bit over the top there.
He's gone in with predictions already. We haven't even got to the part where we got predictions. We've got a couple of guests coming through. I'm hoping that supporting the Reds will be my man DJ Spoony, garage legend. And he gets paid for talking about football, unlike me and you. You know what I mean? We love football. We don't get paid for it, but Spoony does. And obviously he's blessed that he's a DJ like us. He plays music and he has been like at the top of his game for many, many years. So he's going to be passing through. And I know you got
we got the great broadcaster. I call him Edward, but he's Eddie Nesta, a staunch Manchester United supporter. And as you know, he is a broadcasting legend. He's got an MBE. He went down to Buckingham Palace, got his MBE from Marge with his family and all that. And, you know, he's on the BBC and he's got his own podcast going on. So he is a very heavyweight supporter. And then we got the voice of sports, Rodney Hines from the Voice newspaper. On the road level, he is the man. He's got everything going on in the Voice. Why he hasn't been to the Beeb yet, why the Beeb ain't got him yet, I will never know. But anyway.
Well, if the Beeb gets him, he'll be making stupid predictions like our mate Eddie. What happens, you know what I mean? What happens, son? But listen, I know Rodney's got his stats and facts, and so have I. Yeah,
you got
my shopping list. Is that my shopping list?
Listen, you see my stats and facts is that I just need a little one paper. I don't need no books, right? I just need a one piece of paper.
Yeah, your one paper bun this weekend, because obviously, everybody who is fans of the game, even if you're not a fan, and we're welcoming fans outside of supporters, Liverpool and Manchester. This ain't just about Liverpool, Manchester United, because we're going to be talking about obviously what's the season so far, and people out there are welcome to their views. Join us. Come in.
You know what I mean? And they'll be flashing up how you can link it. It's on YouTube. The all works. I think the world is watching this right now.
Yeah, and while we're doing that, I'm just going to keep pumping out the links because, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's be honest, Ernie. We locked in and we were speaking about it about a week ago.
Yeah.
And the team, want to say shouts to the team.
Yep.
The backroom team.
The backroom team, you know what I mean? All Saint and Anthony in the backroom there, and the Fixture List team making it.
Said, Fixture List, let's do it. And Robbo, Ernie, you're going to be presenting it. So I said, all right, cool, no problem.
No problem. But you know what, Robbo? I mean, not even 6 months ago. Where are we now? How many games has been played now?
I think 18. 18
We're
games?
not quite halfway yet. I don't think we're quite halfway.
No.
15. But, you know, if you go back to round about November time, who would have thought that coming into January, the biggest game would be Manchester United, top of the Premiership, against the champions after 30 years in second place? Who would have thought that was possible?
To be honest with you, Ernie, with your form last few years, no one. Absolutely no one. There's no chance with that manager, anybody, apart from you guys who support Man United, thought that Man United would even be in the sniff. I mean, I've always thought that United, even in the past, has always been a great Premiership team, but even better cup team. And I'm pretty sure, judging by the records and the amount of no, but because it's a fact. Come on, son.
What are you talking about? How can it be a better cup team than a Premiership? Nobody's won the Premiership more times than us.
Yeah, but listen, I'm giving my explanation before you start doing your Alex Ferguson ranting and all of that.
Talk about ranting. Klopp is trying to use some little psychology business about our players diving. What's that about?
But listen, you've had a run, and everybody recognised the run. I take my hat off to that run with Sir Alex Ferguson.
Right.
And that run is what holds Manchester United like that. You can't take that away from Man United. That run, winning the Premiership back-to-back, those stats are, I don't think they're ever going to be repeated. I don't think a manager's ever going to come in the game and do what you did. But at the same time, Manchester United was always a team that picked off trophies along the way. European trophies, FA Cup, League Cups, UEFA Cups. It's always been a team that picked off trophies. And there's one thing I would say. Wasn't looking for Man United to be winning the league this year, but I would expect Man United to go and win silver somewhere.
Somewhere. Okay. Well, to be honest, Robbo, you know, if we win the Premiership, it'll be beyond my wildest expectations.
Yeah, let me take a drink before you say that again. Go on. You say?
You will. Take a drink. If we win the Premiership, Premiership, it'd be beyond my wildest expectation, because I've got us down at the beginning of the season. I said, I'm happy again with top 4. Next season, I fully expect us to mount a challenge. The mere fact that we're top of the Premiership in January, I know the Premiership ain't won in January, but the mere fact that we are top in January, I'm kind of rubbing my hands because they're kind of getting warm. And I said,
why would you be one? Why are you rubbing your hands in January? I know it's cold outside, Ernie, but why are you rubbing your hands?
A bit of nervousness from Anfield coming into this game.
No chance.
I've never heard Klopp talking about people diving and such things, and all of a sudden he's saying that people are diving and what's not. It sounds, this is squeaky bum time. This game is squeaky bum time. You know what I mean?
I think because you haven't won the Premiership in a long time, you're forgetting how it works.
Don't even go there now, Robbo. Robbo, don't go there now.
Listen, I can, because squeaky bum time, which was coined by
Sir
big man, Sir Alex, was never in January. Nobody talked about winning in January. If you remember 2 seasons ago, Liverpool and Man City were racing for the title.
Yes.
And the league changed hands about 4 to 6 times.
Yeah.
So over that period, I've learned that it means nothing in January.
No, it doesn't. But the mere fact that Manchester United and Liverpool are first and second, that's blown out. Nice. It means a whole league now.
It's nice. It's nice. You're having a good time. But that's all you're having. A good time. Enjoy the week.
Robbo, how you can talk to me when our team has won the Premiership more times than anyone else? 30 years it took you to win the Premiership. All right, maybe not 30, but 20 years it took you to win the little one thing that you won last season.
You don't know, sir? 5.
Wait, 5 what?
5 big things we've won.
5. I'm talking about the Premiership. I'm not talking about
the World Club and no,
I'm not talking about that. We the Premiership game. Don't worry about that. Because if you want to go there, we was the first team to win the Champions League in England. We set the standard by winning it. Celtic
Celtic set the standard
in Britain. In England,
you see the problem, people.
United set the standard. So
I
we
hope-
don't
I
want to
hope-
go back in that. We're talking about now.
I hope our guests come in because, as I said in my preview, when Ernie starts talking about Bobby Charlton,
I
and he
haven't
might
talked
talk
about
about Eric Cantona and Wayne Rooney, we know he's living in the past.
No,
I've learned over the years not to talk about the past.
My mate Robbo Ranx.
Now, my
Robbo-
guns are now.
Robbo Ranx, my friend Robert White said you're clutching at straws, rude boy. Right.
I'm clutching at my guns.
You know about picking up Premier League. You're clutching at straws, Robbo.
What did Robert White said? Robbo Ranks clutching at straws. Should be saying pick up cups as well as the Premier. Yo, okay, you listen. Nobody's denying the fact that you guys have picked up trophies. I said it. Listen. I'm one person that will never deny it. I'm a Liverpool fan, and Man United has been our greatest adversaries. What Man United has done has been unbelievable. I wished we could be in the same position as Man
Repeat
United.
that for me, Robbo. Just repeat what you just said there.
I wished that we had a run like Manchester United because that run is legendary. It's absolutely legendary. And that's why I hold Manchester United as a club in high regards. But as a football team right now, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you because right now your team's not firing like us. Since Van Dijk and my man there around the back there has got injured. Remember, you know, how much you've been on a run here where Southampton beat you.
Mm-hmm.
You draw. Who did you draw in West Bromwich Albion or something like that?
Yeah. I think West Brom beat us, didn't they?
No, West Brom never beat you. Stop that. It gets worse. If West Brom beat you, it gets worse.
It would take some licks this season.
You've had a couple of draws and Southampton beat you, right? Which really and truly, that is not the form of Premiership winning side. You know what I mean?
Well, think about. Let me put it to you this way: if my team has been awful and their form has been awful, why are we currently only 3 points behind you? Your team's been going. Bro, apparently your team's been going guns.
How many? Yeah, but listen, how many points was we behind you a few months ago? We was in 15th place.
A few months ago, there's only been 17 games, Ernie. So you can't be.
We was in 15th place, and you gone over the horizon. Then all of a sudden,
we wasn't. But Liverpool wasn't at the top of the table. If you remember, Tottenham was at the top of the table.
You was first or second. I mean, all right, Tottenham's
we were running third and fourth. We weren't.
But you were significant points ahead of us. Not in your wildest dreams did you think that we would be top of you in January. I don't care what
you can't be a crazy points ahead of you with 16 games. Do the maths, Ernie. Come on.
We had man was talking about we was going to be relegated.
Rupert,
right? But Rupert's the next Liverpool, isn't it? He's 3-1. He's lost the plot as well. You know what I mean? Are you brought him?
Now you disrespecting my fans. I don't even have people in the stadium. You're disrespecting my fans. That's joining us right now.
Well, the next one, Gussie would just come on a minute ago and said, "I've moved the goalpost." Where moved the goalpost away? You know what I mean?
Who's that?
3 points. Liverpool haven't lost at home since 2017. Yo, Teresa. Who's that? Tyrese.
Yeah. We're not talking about the US one. We're talking about one right here from Anfield.
I feel tonight is going to be a little bit serious. I mean, we're going to be on for about an hour, Robbo, and people are going to be joining us. We're going to take in the chat room, and things are going to be flashing up. And I think it's going to be red hot inside here. But fun and joke aside, I'm looking forward to this game.
I'm looking forward to the game, but we are going to talk about our predictions, people. So hold fire on your predictions. But if you want to send your predictions to Ernie just to soften him down, let me know what you think the scores are going to be, you guys online. We are going to talk about our predictions. So we will we'll get to that. So predictions are welcome throughout the show. We're going to be on for the next hour. Our guests, we are going to try to steer them in some in some ways, like an insight of what they believe are going to be the things that really change the game, or the things that will make the game.
So we're going to be looking for the star players and the players who we think are going to play a significant role. Yeah.
Who's Patrick Tappings about? What was that?
He's a Tottenham Hotspur support. I don't know where I'm coming.
No, but we did. Listen, I want Tottenham Me want to see some Chelsea, them big mouth boy in a blue.
And Arsenal, right?
No, you're not going to see no Arsenal fans over here today. No Arsenal fan is stepping in this conversation. You see when Liverpool and
Robbo,
Man United play.
You like the hat, Robbo?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that?
Respect you.
Okay. All right.
Respect you. But you know you're not going to get any Arsenal fans in this conversation.
You never know.
Which Arsenal fan's going to come jump in this conversation? I know Chelsea fans will.
Yeah.
I don't even know the three Manchester City fans were probably alive. Will. We might even get a couple of the boys from on the outskirts like Fulham, if you got your prediction. But I know for a fact there will be no Arsenal fans in this broadcast for sure.
Okay, they might just surprise us. Actually, they might just shock us. You know what I mean? So we're gonna also the start, and then we're gonna have the predictions right down the end, and then we're gonna maybe infuse. Oh, hey, Tyrese, I'm an Arsenal. You're not an Arsenal fan. What are you talking about?
He's not an Arsenal fan.
He's not an Arsenal fan. We know he's not an Arsenal fan. You know what I mean?
Hey, so some of the people that I've hit up and they know who they are, just drop your comments and let us know that you're here with us. As I said, we've decided to bring this because it's the biggest game in the world, but we're currently we're in the midst of another lockdown. It's boring at home. We could have been out here DJing. Ernie could have been doing his thing. I could have been beating some dancehall, but we decided to just get online. Do a thing. You know what I mean?
And have a little chin wag, you know what I mean? This could be the precursor to a little thing, you know what I'm saying?
But Ernie,
Robbo,
they
what
might
do you
ask
reckon?
us to start DJing. They might ask us to start DJing though, because they might say, yo, you don't know nothing about football. Start DJing. Please, don't do that. Don't do that. I know enough about football.
We've just had Patrick Tappins come on. He said 10-10 and everybody gets injured. Because, hey, look, Patrick Tappin, 10-10 draw and everybody get injured. Because that's the only way that Tottenham's going to win the Premiership, right? So, basically you can forget that, Patrick.
Therese is an Arsenal fan. He says he don't like Manchester United or Liverpool. Now, that's the reason why Arsenal fans won't come in here. Because that is just a load of nonsense. We're not asking about if you like them. We're asking about your opinion on the game. If you have no opinion on the game as an Arsenal fan, well, I suppose just keep it moving. But if you've got an opinion on the game, because I believe all of the so-called top 6 teams now, because of Arsenal top 7, have an effect in how the Premiership will be won and lost. And if we look at Manchester United's record so far, Ern, you don't do too well against the top teams. You're not been doing too well. And this part the bus scenario, which you've adopted, it's still hanging in the dressing room from Jose Mourinho's time.
Well, we're going to come on to
adopting. You seem to be adopting that method, and it's not worked out too well for you recently.
What are you talking about? It ain't worked out too well for us. We've won about 3 games, 1-0. We've won every game away from home. And we're starting to...
I said top 6. I'm not talking about the away from home.
What?
Your away form. I'm talking about when you come up against top teams.
All right, we've beaten Everton.
Okay.
Yeah, we've beaten Everton. Southampton, we beat them.
Paul Davis, can you ask Marcus Rashford, where's my vouchers? Stand on, Rashi! Rashi! Delivery man, Rashi. Barefoot. When Rashford come out, everybody eat. Everybody's eating.
You know that. My 3-year-old daughter, Ashana, said Liverpool 4, United 2. Yeah, but Gussie, the worst thing you could do is to steer your daughter at such a young age to support Liverpool. That's the worst thing you could do.
Why? Why'd you say that?
If his daughter the option of supporting teams, he can't just have the daughter and say, "Here, what you are supporting Liverpool." A foolishness, like.
You give it.
Eddie Nestor's here. Rodney Hines is here. Bring them in.
Ernie, can I ask you something before you go on? Did you steer your child into it's your choice to decide what school you want to go to? No, you don't. You tell your child simply, I got a school at the top of the road because they're going to the one round the corner. It's too far. You put them in the school you want. And that's the same thing you do with football as well. You don't give your child the choice of, we live here in Edmonton, you're going to support Tottenham. Are you crazy? You support who I tell you to support. That's
My
how it goes.
You know, my big boy, he ain't really into football, but if he's supporting anybody, it's Spurs. I don't know how he come round to that. The younger one has just begun to get the Manchester United flavour, and that's without no coercing. But right about now, we've got a couple of big men here. We bring to you Red, the Ed, and Rodney Hines from the Voice of Sports. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening, guys. How you doing? All right.
It's good to see my cousin Edward. Well, I was surprised. I learned that Eddie's a Man United fan. I thought at the same time, me and him get on. We can have a reasonable conversation, but he's a hot.
So I just greetings to you, Rodney. Greetings to you, Father Ernest. I came on here. I think I left you chatting rubbish when we were on Choice FM. I didn't expect to come on here and hear you still chatting the same kind of rubbish, Robbo. Liverpool,
yes,
have conceded 18 points, more points than in the 2 previous seasons. When they lose in the weekend, it'll be the worst since Brendan Rodgers, so far as I'm concerned. The fact is, my engine ain't even running right, and I'm right on top of you. So when the engine start running,
okay, Edward, the statistician. Well, let me you, Edward, and good evening, Rod.
Good evening, Robbo. How you doing, my friend?
I'm gonna give you your time to run your motor, as they say. I will give you time to run your motor. Those stats that you just quoted are stats that, if you put them against a normal season, a season of normality, I would turn around and say to you, you know what, Eddie, you're right. We're talking about a season that's been crammed so tightly together. We're also talking about a pandemic which will also affect the players, as well as you can clearly see there's no fans.
Pandemic doesn't affect people in Liverpool because really they wasn't working anyway.
Eddie, but I'm saying to you,
they were taking off
like that. Wait, listen, stats like that, Eddie. Do yourself a favor. Just put it away, son. It ain't about that. It's about Sunday. Not that. Yes, sir. Rodney, how are you, sir?
I just want to say I hope Arsenal survive in the Premiership.
Oh, that's fine. That's an old joke now, my friend. Me and you've had enough banter over the years when Arsenal was something decent. Every dog has its day. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it's surprising. I think we're all going to be surprised. Well, we're all surprised. I think that United are in this position anyway. Yes. With all due respect, I mean, we've got to give Ollie the maximum respect and the management team at Man United, and I think that Sunday is pivotal. Listen, having lost 4 successive semi-finals, this is a big game of football for Man United, and I think they need to go to Anfield on Sunday, put down a marker, and go 6 points clear. I think if they do that, I won't say there's one hand on the trophy. But I think the positive boost that it would give Man United on Sunday, if they can go there and win, would be something special.
Ernie, positive boost.
Rodney, do you think? Yes.
Oh, no, I was about to say, Ernie, because we had a catch up earlier on, and we weren't talking about what Rodney just said, like things that can go in the favour of the teams for the rest of the season. We've been just talking about this particular game. Do you think, Ernie, and Eddie, as Man United fans, do you think winning, because I know that feeling, and I feel, son, winning against Liverpool.
Let
me ask you two facts. Winning against Liverpool on Sunday is going to set you up to win the Prem. Really?
No, but I tell you what, if we go 6 points clear, Robbo, you're going to have a problem, because our confidence is already on the rise. We go to Anfield and win, right? It's going to send our confidence even higher. But I think a draw at Anfield is the minimum requirement on Sunday. The minimum.
It's the minimum required, Ern. But listen, Do you remember in Leicester's title-winning season? Everybody doubted them, and then I think they went to the Etihad one Saturday lunchtime, right? And they went up there and they beat Man City. And literally from that game onwards, they flew. And I think that would be the case for Man United. Should they? I don't think it's a case of trying to get a minimum point. I think it's about getting three points. And I tell you what, you got no Anfield fans to deal with.
No,
it's absolutely set up for United and Paul Pogba, and I hope we talk about him later on, right?
Yeah,
because the boy has been left, right, and centre. All right, he's been disrespected, and I say to you, Ern, you know what my views on Pogba? The best player that you have, but unlike Fernandes, hasn't been able to consistently deliver. His time is coming.
Rodney, we are about 6 minutes into where we wanted to be, and you've kind of brought us where we want to be. We were going to ask our esteemed guests about what they think the lineup will be, and I know you mentioned Pogba. We are going to talk about that star player, but let's just do a quick run over of the lineup. What's your
you can't do that, because what you're saying there, Rodders, is absolutely pivotal. Literally, he's one of the best players in the world, right? And he hasn't played yet. And what they're doing now is they're starting talking about him as though he's playing. Now, the thing about Paul Pogba is I watched him do a press conference the other day and did it in like 4 languages without even blinking. He's an articulate, intelligent, charismatic, fantastic player. He's the kind of player that if you get him on side, you get your dressing room on side. If you get your dressing,
Eddie, does he play? Does he fit in your lineup? Your lineup for Sunday?
Without he plays. Without that, he
Okay. Ernie, what's going with this brother? He's just going to get me vexed and make me forget myself there. I'm giving you sense and you're not even listening, man.
Eddie, I don't want your cents and 2 pence. I want your lineup now.
I'm not giving you I'm giving you Pogba. If Pogba plays, we win.
Ernie, I told you
I'm giving you, but you're telling me now, like you're being me. You're telling me what you want me to say. I'm telling you my team.
Ernie, I told you this hot-head talk show host. Liverpool, I told you it was going to be a problem. We should have got Jonathan Ross. I told you get Rossi.
No, he was
his number. You get Eddie Nesta.
Pogba plays, we win.
I tell you who plays. I tell you who plays. A bit of a wild card for Sunday. I tell you who plays on Sunday. Bearing in mind Liverpool's centre half problems, you got to start Cavani.
Can I ask you guys, like I just did a minute ago before I was rudely interrupted by Edward? Can we have a lineup? So I'm going to go back to Eddie. I'm going to go back to Eddie. I'm going to go back to
Spoonie. Let's to Spoonie. Oh, that's even worse. Now he's got a friend.
No, that's what I'm saying. And next Liverpool supporters arrive, Spoonie. Oh my
goodness! Before I let him talk, let me talk. He is one of our learned colleagues. He's a legend. He's a garage. Forget garage. I'm not talking. No disrespect to garage. He's a music legend. He's set standards. He's currently hosting Garage Classicals. People can't get enough of it. And he gets paid for talking about football currently on the Premiership channel, just like Rodney. So they're going to bring sense into this conversation.
I don't know how they managed to do that.
Just Spoonie.
I think Spoonie's going to bring emotion, man.
Come in, Spoonie.
What are you saying, Spoonie?
Interesting. It's interesting hearing your views and opinions on Paul Pogba. For transparency, I'm a Paul Pogba fan. I think that he's a player who you have the ability that managers should be building the teams around him and how he plays. The problem that they've had, or he's had recently, is that I suppose it's not so bad when it goes well, because when they play well, until Fernandes got there, it was because of Paul Pogba. And when they play badly, before Fernandes got there, it was because of Paul Pogba. And they just couldn't seem to find the best way to get him to play. Now, when they signed him from from Juve, he was playing in the midfield three and on the left of the three, which effectively gave him a free role. He came into a Manchester United side that was struggling for form, they were struggling for function, and they were struggling to find out how to get the best from him. And that, I don't think that really worked in his favour. Matic was slowing, McTominay was very, very young and inexperienced. And it was only until Fernandes came into that team that, you know, when he was at Juve and he had Andre Pirlo in the midfield pulling the strings, Pogba could get forward to do the things that Paul Pogba does. Because as a Liverpool fan, there's nothing that would delight me more than seeing Paul Pogba in his own half. Where I am going to get nervous is when Paul Pogba starts picking up the ball midway through our half and starts making his way unopposed to the final third. That is where he is at his most dangerous. And I think at this time, this tenure at Manchester United, he's not been able to do that enough. However, back to my beloved Liverpool.
Liverpool, get it right, Liverpool.
Who said that?
Me.
Bernie, Daddy Red Bernie.
Liverpool. That's how we know.
Anyone who calls themselves a character out of Sesame Street, I can't take them seriously.
What are you talking about? Who's Sesame Street?
Huh?
Who's Sesame Street?
Right.
You don't want no daddy in Sesame Street.
You got no manners, Spoonie. You come in the man house and want to disrespect a man like that.
Let me continue.
That's not disrespect.
What? Bert and Ernie, Sesame Street. What I think happens is that Paul Pogba will have a different kind of responsibility playing against Liverpool. He can sometimes find the space and have an easier game playing against teams where Manchester United dominate possession. He's now going to be up against a midfield and a team that are more likely to have the lion's share of the ball. And it's what can he do when he hasn't got the ball? And that is the one criticism that he can sometimes seem as though he's being carried. Because let's make no bones about it, Liverpool will bop Manchester United off the park when it comes to possession, as we have done over the last 5-6 games. I can't remember the last time that Manchester United beat Liverpool. And I was actually going to look at the official stat.
4 seasons ago.
4 seasons ago. I was actually going to look.
5. That's Wayne Rooney scored, right?
There you go. So I was going to look and see officially when that was, but I just knew it was ages ago. So it didn't even make sense. Okay. So that's the way that I see the game playing out. And, you know, Thiago's back. So that's a problem for Man United.
Yeah, but
Pogba, it's a problem.
Don't worry about that, right?
But Spoonie's right with that. But I tell you what makes Pogba's life a little bit easier is the fact that he's now got McTominay and Fred doing that holding role, which to some degree allows him to push on. Yes, he's still going to have some defensive duties to take place. I think he's going to be the star of the show. But with McTominay and Fred almost in that sitting role, like Kante and Matuidi, I think, for France, for example, he's got a little bit more license to do the thing that he does best, which is produce some physicality, but he's better going forward than the other way.
How's he getting a team, though? Because if you got McTominay and Fred, and
let's look at the teams then. Let's look at.
That's what I was trying to get to. And as I said, and Edward went off, start doing them rants again.
On the Sky Sports graphic, you'll probably have McTominay, Fred, and Pogba. But I think that the two sort of defensive guys, McTominay and Fred, will just hold that space in front of the back.
Be the 3?
But McTominay scored, didn't he? So that he's doing well at the minute. He did very, very well, and he had a man of the match performance a few games ago. So he's that kind of, that old-time utility player that's doing well. It's whether Bailey and Maguire go together.
Yes, I think Bailey has to play.
Who's your fullback?
If he stays fit, Liverpool have got a problem.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Sorry. If you're saying Bailey will cause Liverpool strikers a problem,
Bailey has to play against Mane. There's no ifs or buts. If he's fit, he plays because Bailey is stronger than Mane and he's quicker than Mane. He will handle Mane.
So he's one of those players that when he came in, he was going to be a star, wasn't he? And then he had a really bad bad time where he took too long on the ball, he made bad decisions. But I think that he's got his confidence back. I think, look, football's a game of confidence, right? And when the best player in your team, Van Dijk, disappears and the whole defence has been carried by him, there's going to be a reaction. And we've seen that with Liverpool this year.
Okay, hang on. Let's stick to Manchester United's defence.
All right. So
because we are trying to rattle our way through a team lineup, and you sound confident that Pogba plays, Ballet plays.
Well, we go from the back. Let's go from the back. So we got De Gea in goal, right? Wan-Bissaka.
Yep.
People's been questioning Wan-Bissaka that he goes up the field and then he passes the ball back.
Okay.
He's a right back that he actually wants to defend.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There are so many right backs in the Premier League that want to do their best work going forward. This guy actually wants to defend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any problem with that.
So
you know what though, Rods? It is a problem for Manchester United. If you're a side that's trying to win the league, if you're a side that's going to dominate possession in more games than it's not, and there's most probably only games against, I don't know, Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, maybe away. The other games in the season, Manchester United are going to have more of the ball. That is what lets Wan-Bissaka down. I think when he's just and only has to focus on defending, whether that be against Mane, whether that be against Werner, whether that be against Sterling, I think he's absolutely fine like that.
Yeah.
When he gets found out is when he gets into the opposition third. Maybe the flip reverse of what happens with Trent Alexander-Arnold, because he's most comfortable attacking and maybe not as comfortable defending. But there aren't many games that he really has to focus on his defending. What I really want to know is if McTominay and Fred start, who doesn't start up front for Manchester United? Because Pogba's going to start, and I'm sure Fernandes is going to start. So who gets left out? Is it Rashford? Huh?
I think Martial gets
left out for me.
We're gonna come up to that. Let's complete the back line.
Okay.
So Bailey plays.
In my team, he plays.
Okay.
In my team as well. Yeah.
Midfield.
Slabhead definitely plays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Slabhead,
Yeah, Maguire.
Yeah.
He plays, or the Titanic, whatever you want to call him.
Captain Fantastic.
And
Most
then
expensive centre half in the world. Let's call him that.
Speedy.
Spoony. Don't remind me of that, please. All right. Okay. And then does Shaw play?
Yep, he does.
Yeah, that is it. You've called it.
Right.
Midfield.
So that's our back line. That's our back line. Fred.
You got Fred and you got McTominay and you got Pogba. We're right up front now.
Fred, McTominay, and Pogba up front. Well, Fernandes definitely.
You got Fernandes playing, and for me, I think you pull a little bit of a master stroke, and I think you go Cavani and Rashford.
Cavani and Rashford.
Diamond.
Yep.
Yeah, because Cavani's not going to run channels. He's going to play down the middle.
And as I said, bearing in mind Liverpool's weakness at centre half right now, should we say? I think Cavani just brings something different. He brings a physicality and a know-how.
I think Cavani's perfect for Liverpool in their position, their backline position. I think he's perfect.
Okay.
He's clever, but I think he's perfect for our problem.
He's just come off a suspension, hasn't he? And he's clearly got something to prove, because that wasn't that wasn't his best moment. I don't think in football, but he missed a sitter, didn't he, Ernie? I mean, he missed a really easy one.
Well, he had a little problem against Burnley because he was going through and they pulled him down. And my learned friend Robbo said that's the best thing that happened, because Shaw would have got a red card had he gone through. Because what Shaw done was naughty. I don't know what Robbo's doing, but it's probably
but it was, because he would have been gone. He wouldn't be playing today. But I mean, that problem where Liverpool find this, the problem we find ourselves in with our centre half position, I think it could be actually good for us. But are you guys saying, as Manchester United fans, that it's a two up front situation?
Well, Fernandes is going to be floating in between the two minutes.
Right. Yep.
He's going to be floating. So
I think he's big. I think he's big. In my opinion, I've heard a lot about Pogba, but what Spoonie said was kind of correct. That without the ball, and he's the aggression without the ball, it's gone. It's been gone for quite some time with Pogba. Pogba's a great player. I've seen him do it for France. He sits as a number 6, and there's something so different about him when he's sitting with Matuidi. The aggression to get the ball back. At Man United for the last 2 years, it's not the same Paul Pogba. I've seen him have lifts. I've seen him, he's had moments where his confidence has gone back. He's won things. He's done some fantastic things for Man United, and he goes back to being the same old Paul Pogba. And I think playing against Liverpool, where there's not going to be a lot of ball. They're not going to have a lot of time on the ball. You're not going to get a lot of the ball. I don't know if Pogba. I think for Liverpool, I think the biggest worry is Fernandes.
So what you're telling me that you wouldn't play Pogba?
I don't mind you playing Pogba. I don't think Pogba is the problem for Liverpool.
You're a funny guy, you know.
No,
you're
honestly,
funny. You're a very funny guy. I love you.
Eddie, let me
You're
just say
hilarious.
this. Let me qualify this. I highly rate Pogba, but I've seen him many times where it's no possession for Pogba.
In the beginning of the pandemic, Robbo, I think that Pogba was injured and he was out for quite some time, some problem with his foot or whatever.
And he's clearly had COVID, didn't he? I reckon.
He had COVID, yeah.
And he had COVID.
He had a dance.
So at the end of it, as a rhythm game and at that level, it is going to take a little while to get back up to being like the person. The way they're talking about him now, the way he's playing, the way that his manager is lauding him is exactly the kind of thing that a charismatic person like Paul Pogba needs. And I would say, I think we all agree that if you can't get up for the biggest rivalry in British football, then you shouldn't be playing. I mean, if you can't get up for this game, then what's the point in playing?
How many times?
If Paul Pogba turns up, and I understand about the inconsistencies, right? If Paul Pogba turns up truly on Sunday, right? He's the best midfielder on the park, no matter who Liverpool plays.
100%. 100%.
Okay, my caveat to that would be, right, Rodney?
Yeah.
How many games out of 10 have you got to wait for Paul Pogba to have that man of the match performance? Because he might actually be a better individual, a better footballer than Jordan Henderson. But I know Jordan Henderson over 10 games is
going to give you 7 out of 10.
Better performances over 10 games than Paul Pogba is. And I think you can say that.
The caveat is actually spot on. I understand that.
And I think you can say that. You're going to say that. You're going to say that about Gini Wijnaldum as well. And you're most probably going to say that about Thiago too. That these guys perform at a higher level more consistently than Paul Pogba. And the problem that you have when you face a side against Liverpool, when you look around that entire Liverpool 11, that they all hit very high levels more often than not, and that's what makes them a great team. And that's I'm not saying. I
totally agree with you, Spoon, but you know what? It's going to be a really odd word, bearing in mind Liverpool's tremendous record at Anfield, Champions League medal, Premier League medal. If ever Liverpool were vulnerable, it's this weekend.
But I think they need this game. I think this game comes along at a perfect time for Liverpool because they need to
go for a perfect time for United as well.
So this is an interesting thing. As much as we're saying that I think Manchester United have to change their shape and the way they play against Liverpool, not the other way around. That is the measure. And it's not like Pep. When Liverpool and Man City go head to head, they go, all right, I'm just bringing my team. You bring your team and we go. I think Manchester United will have to change their shape because Paul Pogba won't have the freedom. They will have to play 2 holding midfielders because Liverpool will get at them.
That's why we're going to have Fred and McTominay.
And one second, Spoonie. Like how I'm going to let you carry on, but enough about Manchester United and Paul Pogba, because I'm telling you that Pogba is not going to be the problem in the game.
Robbo, remember what?
Hang on, wait a minute. We'll
said 1 game in 10. Well, this is the game.
Okay, listen.
This
No,
will
it
be
was the last game where
Wait,
you won man of the
listen.
match.
Now you're doing hit and hope. So let me stay with
no,
Spoonie.
no.
No, let me stay with Spoonie for a minute
Yeah.
because we've done the Manchester United team.
Right, so
We've
let's
even
stay
kind of wrapped up our star
Liverpool.
player. And clearly for
Spoonie.
Manchester United fans
Right
here,
now, and Liverpool.
is going to be the star player for you. So Spoonie, moving swiftly on, let's have a lineup for Liverpool and also the player that you believe will be a standout. I've got my standout. Hope it's the same as you. So Spoonie, let's start with Spoonie here.
I think Liverpool, the team virtually picks itself. Alisson in goal, Trent. I think Matip's going to be back and play alongside Fabinho. Andrew Robertson as left back. In the midfield, I think it's going to be Genie on one side, Henderson in the middle, and Thiago on the other side, or Thiago
as a number 8.
Is that I Dream of Genie?
Is that as a number 8?
Which Genie? Time of Genie.
Alcantara, is that a number 8?
I think he'll play. I think he'll play as the 6, and Henderson will play on the left or the right hand side.
It's usually the right. Henderson
might be on the right hand side, and Genie will play on the left, and then up front, Mane, Firmino, and Salah. So the Liverpool team virtually picks itself, and it has done. You know, barring injuries at the back and Thiago coming in, give or take, that has been the team for the last 2.5 seasons.
Yeah. So ending that one, who do you think?
Might I ask a question about your team, seeing as you spent so long on ours?
We didn't.
Do you acknowledge that it isn't all the stats that you put forward are absolutely right? Of course, we're ignoring the fact that Man City have game in hands and blah blah blah, but it hasn't been the same Liverpool, has it? So aren't you judging them by last year or the year before standards?
So can I just say, right, the last 3 games haven't been great, right? They haven't been great, and they've been poor, right? Now I think that I think teams have sat in and said, right, we're going to try and nick something. Southampton sort of got their point in a different way. I don't think Manchester United can play like that.
We're going for it. We're going.
I don't think they can sit in. Don't think they can and want to sit in and play in the way that Newcastle or West Brom did against Liverpool. They will have to come and play, and that will suit Liverpool, and that's going to be a problem. And you know what? I mean, look. The truth is, if Manchester United do decide that they're going to sit in, that's going to be more of a problem for someone like Paul Pogba, because all he's going to be doing is defending and shuffling between Trent Alexander-Arnold and maybe Genie or Jordan Henderson, just doing shuttle runs. He's not going to want to do that. He really isn't going to do that. And it's not often that we see Bruno Fernandes also having to play that kind of game. And that's
he can play that game though, Spoonie. Fernandes is actually a fantastic harrier and hustler. He's got that in his game. He's got that more than Pogba, and this is the reason why, no shade on Pogba, why Pogba doesn't get that same. He's not getting that love, because when you watch Fernandes, head and shoulder, he's been Manchester United for a season now.
Let me just jump in and say this for clarity and transparency. If he is about it, there aren't too many better players in world football than Paul Pogba. There's not too many players that I would rather watch when he's in full flow than Paul Pogba. The things that he sees, the things that he tries, the things that he can execute. But we have to wait. The gaps in between those performances so far have been too big.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't mind attacking players giving the ball away, because normally they're trying something. If you look at Firmino, he gives the ball away quite often because he's trying to play that pass that will lead to a very good chance. This is what very good creative players do. However, like I said, Paul Pogba's role in midfield means that you have more responsibility for ball retention than you do as a striker. And it's just been not good enough, regularly enough for Manchester United. However, I think he's a genuine world-class footballer.
Can I just flag something up? I mean, we talked about the games against Newcastle and West Brom. With all due respect, I watched those games, and it wasn't like Newcastle and West Brom played particularly well. Can we not acknowledge that Liverpool, especially the front three, are actually not taking the chances that they would normally do, because chances are being created. Can we not acknowledge that Liverpool and their front three in particular are simply not playing well at the moment?
They're not playing well. 100%. They're not
I think
playing
there's
well.
an issue.
And I believe the chances that Liverpool are not taking. If you watch Liverpool throughout, even last season when we were playing sublime football, it's machine football. We missed a lot of goals. Salah missed. Listen, last season, come on, man. We were 18 points clear. It was sublime football. Salah missed.
Ernie, give it up, bro.
Salah and Mane missed sacks.
They've got a problem there. There's a problem between those.
It's
two.
always been a problem. I think the problem with our front three, and this is just my opinion, the problem with our front three has been the dipping form of Firmino. That's been the alarming thing. His form has dipped, like really gone, and it's affected the other players. I think the other two players are fine. But without the third player, that's where our problem lies.
Understandably, listen, Liverpool have almost been perfect for 2 seasons, agreed?
Yeah.
Lost to Man City in the league by one point, and then did what they needed to do. This time last year, we weren't even having a Premier League discussion because it was Liverpool. I honestly believe that in terms of intensity and desire, Liverpool are missing that cutting edge right now. And I think it's been borne out that West Brom can come and get a point, go to Newcastle, and you struggle as well. And it would be understandable. Look at Man City. I think Rodney, at the top of their game generally can't go a third season with the same intensity of the previous 2.
Okay, Rodney, you started the star player before we wanted to go star player, and you plumped Pogba for Manchester United. Who do you recognise will be that star player for Liverpool? Who do you think?
Only one man for me. Only one man, and for me, has never got the credit over the last couple of seasons. It's gone everywhere else. You have to be talking about Mr. Mane.
And that's why I think there's a problem, Rodney. I think he thinks he's the top man, and they don't think so. And I think there's a problem between him and Salah.
As an all-round striker, he is the main man for me, pardon the pun. But Salah's weight of goals over the piece means that he gets most of the props. Okay, but Mane, whether you want to play him as the number 9, if you want to play him wide left, wide right, brings Liverpool the tenacity and that guy punches above his weight. Do you know what I mean? Bailly and Slabhead are in for a real test on Sunday.
Well, I think, Rod, I think that if Ballet, what's his name?
Bailly.
If Bailly plays, I think he nullifies, and it plays the whole length of the game, because he's got the capacity to get injured on his own.
I'll tell you what, exactly. That's a very good point. I think if Mane turns up and twists Bailly left, right, and centre, he may not finish the game with his injury.
But if he finishes the game, Mane is nullified.
I don't know about nullified. I don't know about
I don't know anybody. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's a star player. I love him. I love him.
On this particular game, he'll be up against, I believe it will be Wan-Bissaka, right?
Depends where
he'll be up against Wan-Bissaka. So the problem Bailly's going to have is that Firmino will drag him out of position. Bailly wants to get into a battle. He wants to be able to always feel the centre forward. He wants to know where they are. He doesn't want to come out of that area right inside the 6-yard, or width for the 6-yard box. Firmino is going to drag him short, long, left and right. And if he doesn't, and he gets on the half turn, he becomes a very dangerous player, because he's not a player that will kill you with pace. He'll kill you if you give him space.
Who?
And Firmino.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be the one that's going to be playing around the middle.
We've
got Wan-Bissaka around there, because Wan-Bissaka ain't going to be going too far forward.
No, Wan-Bissaka is just going to have to concentrate on Mane. So this is who, and you asked earlier, Robbo, who I think is going to be Liverpool's most important player. And as much as me and all the Liverpool fans around the world absolutely love and adore Mane, this is where Thiago comes into his own. Because if Man United think that they're going to sort of sit in, you don't want that man picking the ball up in your half and popping passes. And the reason we've struggled recently is because we've had no one in the midfield that plays the kind of passes that he plays. And we've also not had Oxlade-Chamberlain, who can get the ball and run and break a line. So we have players in the midfield that can pass the ball in front of you, but no one that can break through the line. All right, now, Thiago and Oxlade break the lines in very different ways. But I think Thiago starts, and if, like I said, if Manchester United drop off, he will find those passes. Mark my words, that when he plays one of those passes, check your phone, because it most probably will be me calling you.
I think
Is Thiago fit?
Oh my God, Ernie, come on.
He's been out for a little while. He's only, how many games has he played?
He'll be all right now. He's okay now.
He's not played that many games.
3 games.
But I'd expect Tomine or Fred to be all over Thiago very early, even to the point a yellow card might have them very, very early on.
I don't know if they risk trying to get close to Thiago. Once you're out and you try to get close to him,
well, they may not do, hence the yellow card. You know.
Okay.
He's like
there will be an early attempt.
Rudders, I'm getting some stick here from somebody called Tapper, because I said it's the biggest rivalry in British football. Is there a bigger rivalry? I mean, Rangers Celtic, but is there a bigger rivalry?
Rangers Celtic is the biggest in Britain, and
there's religious connotations to that.
But in terms of something close to that, it has to be Liverpool versus Man United.
Yeah,
it has to be. I mean, I know that City, Liverpool in recent years has gone down that route just because they've been at the top of the table. But if you're talking about tradition, history, rivalry, it is without doubt United versus Liverpool. Yeah. And this particular one takes even more kudos simply because they're 1 and 2 in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time was 2008-9, I think, was the last time.
Yeah, I mean,
when your manager had the meltdown.
Yeah.
So let me just say, right, that
he's going to have a meltdown this week as well.
Liverpool, this season, Liverpool have already played in 4 of the biggest games of the season, because they played City. It was the biggest game of the season. When they played Chelsea, the biggest game of the season. Spurs, the biggest game of the season. So it's facing Liverpool that makes this the biggest game of the season. That is why everyone wants that this season. And Manchester United, Liverpool is a rivalry. You know, they've won the first division or the Premier League more times than anyone else. That's why it's the biggest rivalry. They are the 2 most successful.
And it's like a derby. They're only 21, 22 miles away from each other. It's down the road, isn't it?
It's down the road, yeah.
Eddie, do you fear is Mane the guy you fear in this game?
Yeah. I mean, I think I've got this thing. Sometimes I believe, maybe it's because I work in the press and I see it too much, but I don't really see darker skinned brothers getting the respect they deserve. There's always a reason. There's always something. There's always somebody. And personally, it works in every other industry, and I don't believe that it doesn't work in this one. Here's a guy. He's industrious. He's clever. He's hardworking, and I see him do brilliant things. And I think to myself, but if Salah does have his eye on Madrid, and I think they're recruiting, then, that might be why those, because it's all little percentages, isn't it? And that might be why those goals aren't going in the way they were before.
Okay, Ernie.
Starmen. Then, so it's Pogba. What we're saying, Pogba and Mane.
Well, no, that's what we're saying. But we're Man United supporters. I think you better take it from the Liverpool guys.
I would say. I mean, Spoonie has gone with Thiago. Is that what you said, Spoonie?
Yeah.
The funny thing for me, I think the star man, and you touched on his name, and I thought you were gonna land the plane on his name. And I know he's been out of form. I know his form has been indifferent, but there is the Roberto Firmino factor. This brother loves big games. If you remember the game against Tottenham, and he turned up, rose like a bird, boom, game over. I think that's the same Roberto Firmino. His form has been indifferent, yes, because one thing people have made note of is players playing in front of the fans. It has a big effect. We're DJs. Imagine us playing music and there's no one dancing, you don't get the same buzz.
Happens all
When
the
Salah
time.
scores and he rips off his shirt, there's no one. There's no one to.
I can't understand why he does that, 'cause he ain't got no
He went here.
You see, Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby, his shirt.
Hold
What's
on.
wrong with him?
Come on, when he done Superman, you remember? You see, Bobby.
What's
Bobby loves playing football in front of the fans. And that's been one of his problems since the turn of the pandemic. This is why you see this player out of form. It almost looks like he's lost interest in the game. But what is the substitute for Roberto Firmino?
Is Diogo Jota?
Game. Is that no? Even if you notice, Jota came in and done his thing. Jota came in and done his thing. But there were games where they brought back Bobby Firmino, and they were big games, and he was a game. He made difference in those games. The game against Palace, although people say Milamino and Salah's bit at the end, and obviously Mane's how he set the strike the players up front apart. It was Roberto Firmino, and I think the bigger the game, I think it's a game. Mark my word, you'll text me on Sunday and say, bloody hell, Robbo, you're right. Roberto Firmino, star player.
So you're going Firmino. All right. We'll see.
Can I ask another question? And seeing as you put in the 12th man, which is the crowd, you know, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I get this kind of brain fog. Even though I'm all right, I'm working, but it's difficult when you have a pandemic that lasts as long as this one has. And when you have a lot of sports stars kissing, hugging, holding hands, so Andy's tested positive, Hamilton tested positive, and there is the fear one imagines that Premiership football or the Premier League might find itself in the same place. They are human. You think the pandemic might play a part in the general way that people feel?
100%. And this is what I'm saying about Firmino. I've touched on the point that playing in front of the fans is important, but also the general well-being of a footballer and what he gets out of the game. And some players love the game in front of the fans more than some players who just like to do their job. Henderson strikes me as a player who likes to do his job. Mane strikes me as a player who likes to do his job.
Yeah, but you're talking about the pitch. I'm talking about where you could go and check a gal, or where you could go and dance, or where you could. With the life, I'm talking about real life. They can't. Nobody can do that, can they?
Spoony, he doesn't know Bobby, does he? Bobby is there.
Bobby's a married man, and
on the pitch, Bobby's there. Yeah. We'll see if he's going to be there on Sunday. But anyway,
I'm just saying, I do believe that the fans has a massive difference. I mean, when you watch a player score, come on, man. Apart from Anthony Martial, he don't smile for anything. Score, win, lose, same expression. But when they score, I'm telling you that must be like getting a forward in a club. It's one of the best feelings in the world. They are sportsmen, but they love their jobs. Right. And I think some of the players have been affected by it. Yeah. Definitely not playing in front of the fans.
Well, I don't want that to be no excuse on Sunday, you know. You're going to say that your players were effective because there wasn't no supporters there, right? I don't want
Gangfield will get the job done. We get the job done.
Okay, well, this coming Sunday, we'll see if you can get the job done, Robbo and Spoony, because I don't believe that you're going to get the job done.
Will it be a good game? Because that's the only, that for all the fans and everybody looking at us, thinking, let's look at those five. Will it be a good game, guys, do you think?
Well, this I spoke to a friend of mine earlier, Manchester United fan, and the first question I asked him is, are you coming to actually play or just to stop us? Because what Man United normally do, they come in, they sit in, they make it boring. They play like how Arsenal used to play. They're meant to be Manchester United. This is the legacy of Spoony.
Just a little dig. Go on.
That's how you take out two men with one bullet.
Yeah.
Word. Well done, bro. I've got a lot of respect for you, Spoony. I seen you jab a couple men tonight. A lot of respect.
Hey, what you saying?
Arsenal.
Hang on.
That tells me that you're nervous, Spoony.
Let me ask you guys something. So, Rodney.
Yes, sir.
You've covered the game as well. You've you covered the game as a journalist. So although you're an Arsenal fan, right? Fair enough. Do you see Man United coming to Liverpool to play Liverpool at football?
Spoonie's point is valid, but on this occasion, I do. Yeah, I really do. I think the whole country does, in fact, because, you know, sometimes we get these games and they just turn out into these pressure cooker 0-0s. Why not? As I said at the start, I think well done to Ollie, because he was getting dogs abused, wasn't he? Right?
Yeah.
And I just think he has the players, and more importantly, they've got the belief right now. You know, we're talking about the informed team in the country. If they can do the business, sneak it, a VAR dodgy decision, they go 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Now, that for me is worth a gamble. Yeah.
Well, it's early in the season, so the gamble's worth it.
I do see Man United coming to play football. Eddie talked earlier on about the lack of fans. I think that plays into Man United's hands straight away, because I know that United turn up under normal circumstances at Anfield. The volatile nature of that Anfield crowd can put certain people off. No one needs to be put off on Sunday in a Man United shirt. No one.
Yeah.
We're top of the table. We've grown in confidence. People keep talking about us not performing in big games, those 4 semi-finals. This is the time, because I think that it's so pivotal, this game, that potentially whoever wins goes on to win the league, in my opinion.
Does the cup game play any part in this, though?
That's what
I think it only plays a part because it's been deemed as 4 big games, the semi-finals, that United have never managed to get over the line.
No, I mean, but we play Liverpool again, don't we?
Yeah.
in the FA Cup.
In the cup game. But I think this is the game that matters.
Yeah, but you know, touching on that point though, Rodney.
Yeah.
It's a big game. Everybody that's come and played Liverpool, that sat at the top of the table in this pandemic, it's a massive game. But you've just touched on that point that Man United have come into big games, semi-finals. You don't get bigger than semi-finals. It's 1 game away from a final. They've lost 4 on the bounce.
All I'm going to say, Robbo, is that
How many games did Klopp lose when he was running?
We got to the final, though. He got to the final.
At some stage, Man United's luck or performances in big games is going to change, and it could be this Sunday.
All right, so Ernie, we did say we want to get after an hour. We want to get score predictions, so we can. I'm sure we can safely get the score predictions. What we believe the final outcome will be after the match on Sunday. Ernie, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
Do you reckon, on a serious thing, big man team? Now you're red
On
shirt.
a big man thing, I'm going for a draw. On a big man thing, I'm going for a draw.
Big chat, and now he's talking about a draw.
I'm going for a draw. That's how them games normally play out.
This is not a normal game.
And it's not even a normal season.
Okay. All right. Ernie said a draw. Let me write it down so that when I'm collecting my money, you know where I go on. All right, just Spoonie. Just spoons.
I think Liverpool come out firing on all cylinders. I think Manchester United will be fearful of the firepower that Liverpool have from all over the park, including the fullbacks. It's not going to be easy, but I think 3-1 to Liverpool.
3-1. 3-1
Spoonie's gone with 3-1.
Spoonie, I'm going to call you.
Ed,
you got my number, bro.
I'm calling you.
Ed Wood. I talk some big talk, you know, but I know when it comes down. Listen, I know you're a measured character because I've known you for a long time. Let's put the jokes aside. When he's not telling jokes, he's very measured.
Very measured.
Give me a measured scoreline. No jokes.
I think that when I had a look at the 2008-9 season, Liverpool did us, actually. I think it was about 4-1, if my memory serves me rightly. I think Spoonie's right. I think if we come to play, and I agree with Rudders, we will come to play. If we come to play, it's an open game. If you go to play against a team like Liverpool, you might score, but you also leave yourself open to conceding goals. And I think he's right. The score will be 3-1 to Manchester United.
Woo!
Okay.
Wood. Crazy. That's crazy.
Rodders.
Yes.
I want to say Robbo for last because Robbo's going to talk some stupidness. So the Rodney.
I'm gonna go for 2-1 Man United.
Okay.
With Marcus Rashford scoring the winner.
Okay.
2-1.
On
They're
that
going to
note,
come to
sorry,
Anfield and win 2-1.
can I just throw something in whilst we're speaking about that? And we did talk earlier about COVID and some off the field stuff. What about the gesture? The talk is that Liverpool fans want to put a banner up at Anfield as a tribute to Marcus Rashford. Have you ever heard anything as amazing as that?
No.
I think
it would be amazing if they did that.
It would be amazing, and deserved as well.
Yes, definitely. I mean, if Liverpool fans done that,
I'd just say most of the hungry kids in Britain are probably in Liverpool, so it would be great.
Why do you have to go there, man?
Absolutely was not the time for that joke.
That's really.
And you said,
shut up, Spoonie. Who made you the judge of this thing? Yeah, it would be okay. Honestly,
you've been judged by your peers. All right.
Hey, Eddie.
Well done, Spoon. Can I just say, in all seriousness, you can tell a person and the true character of somebody when they're in good times. My boy went through tough times, grew up, went to the free breaks with his mum. And here, when he's in his good times, he's done that. He's got the Prime Minister, he's got this country to turn around twice. And when the Prime Minister looked at the foolishness they were giving those people for £30, the Prime Minister phoned him again. I think with him and Sterling, when I look at football and all the, the stories about those guys, as a slightly older black guy, they make me feel so proud for the future when we talk about young black boys in the pejorative most of the time with knife crime and the like. Those guys are kings, man. They're kings.
Yeah, salute.
I mean, to go back to Spoonie's point, though, we talked about the rival between United and Liverpool. If Liverpool fans are going to do that, I tell you what, I've got a great deal of respect for them anyway. But if they do that, it just goes up a notch.
I think that is something that you would.
I'm still going to call them Liverpool, though.
No, doesn't matter. I think that is something a gesture that you would find with, and I'm also Liverpool and Manchester United. They have that affinity to people more than a lot of clubs, and it's made up from the supporters. So if that gesture does happen on Sunday, I agree with it 100%. And I would say, as a Liverpool fan, I'm just a fanboy moment. I'm a bigger fan of Rashford as a footballer than any other United player. And I rate Paul Pogba, but he's the player. And if he scores against us, I'm not that bothered. But let me give my prediction.
Yeah, let's get your prediction now, Robbo, because it's about to be stupid.
No, this is me looking at the game, looking at form, looking at confidence needed to win that game. But Liverpool,
and all the business. They give us the prediction.
All right, Liverpool, even though we're on that little stutter, is a well-oiled machine. If 60% of that shit machine rolls out, Liverpool wins the game.
Yeah.
With two goals, but I believe Man United will breach the back line. I reckon it's going to be 2-1. That's my prediction.
All right. Well, that's looking at them predictions there, they're quite sensible. I mean, Spoonie's gone a little bit loops. Edward's gone a little bit loops as well, but they're not bad predictions. It's going to be
It's going to be an open game, isn't it?
What if we give United what Tottenham gave them?
What if you don't?
It will hurt.
But
the thing is that what Arsenal gave us and what Tottenham gave us, since that happened to both of them, you haven't seen what I put on them. What's happened to Arsenal since? What's happened to Tottenham since? Don't make me do that to you guys at Liverpool.
We don't need your juju around here.
Yeah.
I would say this. I gave my score predictions, and we've kind of mentioned our star player, and I think we can close on. I think we can close on who would be the most worried player in this line. I'm going to start with my team.
The most
worrying player would you be?
No, what do you mean, man? I don't know what you mean.
Well, the player that you believe in your team may
the liability.
The liability. And I'm just gonna say this. It hurts me to say. I'll start. It hurts me to say, but I think our biggest problem, not centre, biggest problem on Sunday. Spoonie, I know you're gonna hate me. I think it's Trent. I think it's gonna be Trent.
You think Trent is going to be your biggest problem?
Yeah, I think the problems, if we suffer any problems, it won't be the obvious. It'll be Trent.
Because he's bombing forward.
Because he would, I would say, of all the players on the pitch, even when you watch the young kid, Jones, even Bobby will always still show for the ball. Salah will be out of the game, but you know he can do anything. But the one who gets troubled, I mean, up here in the head, mentally, Spoonie. Ugh.
I can hear it. I can see what you're saying. I mean, what tends to happen is that very good players, the top players in world football, don't play 2 bad games back to back. They don't really do it. And I think Trent had his one in that last game. I think he may have learned from that. I'm hoping he would have learned from that. I don't know which player actually worries me in that Liverpool team. I mean, Matip's just coming back after a few weeks out, but he has formed a brilliant partnership with Fabinho and an understanding. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'd have to say with Robbo, if we were going on form, Trent is the single Liverpool player that is not playing great at the moment. However, as someone who's been as brilliant as he has done over the last 2-3 years, I mean, he only needs a moment. He's only got to get that, be not picked up, arriving late, that one ball into the box, and he's back on track.
Okay. And Man United, I know all you're gonna say. Slabhead, Maguire.
Yeah, man.
It's gotta be. He's the one that's gonna get toasted and roasted, man.
For me,
They isolate Marnie against Slabhead, we got serious problems.
Yeah. If it's about pace, we've got a problem.
Yeah.
I tell you who the worry for me for United would be is the goalkeeper.
De Gea.
Yeah. I mean, but he's been our best player for so long. He's bought some time.
A history of sometimes just making that faux pas at the wrong time.
So what do you think, Man United fans? That's Rodney's opinion. What do you think, Ernie?
No,
I know you're a Maguire fan.
Slabhead all the way. Isolate Marnie against Slabhead, and we got a problem because Slabhead.
I don't think he plays on Mane's side though.
No.
But if Marnie comes anywhere near him, he's going to get nervous.
What about you, Edward?
Well,
Eddie,
we've got a few. I'm afraid we have a few. I've seen De Gea do it. Bailly's had some tough games. Slabhead, Maguire, as you say. Luke Shaw can, it depends which guy turns up. So I think it is our defense versus your attack.
Wow.
And I think that could be a problem.
If it's based on that, then Ed, well, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Well, only if they're on song. That's why I think, sometimes we don't know what goes on in the dressing room, but I'm looking at one get taken off to put the other on and one being in golden boot and one being for Real Madrid. And for me, I don't know. I mean, I don't have any evidence to this, except that I like staring at people. I'm a bit of a voyeur and the idea that some of the chances are going missing. So I think that, if we can get in there early and put them on the back foot, then I think it will be an interesting game. We probably have to score the first goal.
Interesting. We've got another 5 minutes left.
Something that I've wanted to ask since I came on air, right? Like a real burning question. But Eddie, over your left-hand shoulder, you know that tin of olive oil spray? Do you use that on your head?
He did.
I was going to ask.
As soon as he started, I knew there was something coming.
He was looking at. He's looking at something. You know what I mean? You know what it is? You know what it is, Eddie? It's because he hasn't got a bookshelf behind him. So
he hasn't got a book.
He ain't got a book, let alone a shelf.
Yeah, my book.
And there's a bottle of Alcalado there. What's going on?
Listen, stop looking at my bit. I tried to move this. I should have just left this here. Hold on a minute. I'm going to give you something to look at. Look. You lot are gonna be. Right, now let's go.
Let's left it in there, man. Because I was coming to that.
So what did you like to think I was clever? When you see people interviewed, it's really interesting, isn't it? They have books behind them, and it's to send subliminal messages. It's really interesting when you watch
I noticed that.
It meant nothing to us when we saw the books behind you.
Yeah, pulling me like that,
we
bro.
saw Peter and Jane and
Yeah.
and Bloom.
the Janet and John books
In the night garden.
Is there any time for us to get maybe somebody? We've had Patrick Tapping putting up absolute rubbish, garbage.
Absolute nonsense. Can't you block him? Can't you block him?
There's been a load of mess. We're gonna do promo time in a second. Some needs bit more promotion. Some don't need promotion.
Sanjay Mystery is my brethren, right? He's a very good friend of mine. An Indian guy. I'm not taking nothing away from him, right? But he gets lost in the plot. 3-0 Liverpool. I've got to go around his house later on and see him because he needs something. Maybe take J-Ray nephew around there, but he needs something. Look, he's got a Salah hat trick. I mean, come on.
What?
Gussie, Ernie knows they're not coming away from Anfield with a... Oh, God, please. Yeah, all right, Gussie. Yeah. Stick to playing records, Gussie.
Whoever loses, it will hurt, though.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I still think I think the result will definitely do damage in terms of pride. But I don't think this game decides anything.
No,
I don't either.
No. I think if anything, it decides is in that moment. Because we'll be able to phone up people and people will be texting us and saying, I told you, in the moment. But it doesn't have no effect on the long-term thing. We will know like Rodney said today, we'll know round about April, 28 games in, then we'll see exactly what's going on.
Do you remember this time? It was this time last year when Liverpool played Man United and Liverpool were, I can't remember where we were. You correct me, Rodney and Spoonie. How far we were ahead in the season.
Yeah.
And we had that game against Manchester United and Van Dijk rose, boom, 1-0.
Salah
rose again and knocked the ball out of De Gea's hand, and the referee disallowed Roberto Firmino's goal, which was sublime. And then Salah just said, time for I show the six-pack, and done the six-pack, and we won 2-0. And I remember after that game, every Liverpool fan, so this could be a good omen for Man United, every Liverpool fan says, you're going to believe us now. And we knew we won the league.
Yeah, now you're going to believe us.
Yeah.
And that was the game. It was 2-0 to Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think it was around about this time in January. And we were already ahead on the table, but beating Man United.
I was hoping they would cancel the season.
Game done. Season finished. Done.
Yeah. Okay. But always bear in mind, and people will always say this about me, it took 30 years, bro.
It took a pandemic.
Whatever way you go, even Spoonie's dog has got mad. Spoonie dog.
I knew we were gonna get there.
I'm gonna give you a little insight now. I wanted to take you guys back, all of you guys back, because I had something for you. But instead of it ending on a joyous note, it's going to be a sad note because me and the girlfriend are going to split up in a minute because she had one job today. And that was to get one job, and that was to get me a tin of carnation milk to have hot chocolate, right? But she got evaporated milk. She got condensed milk and not evaporated.
Does she support Liverpool?
Yeah, you must be a Man United fan.
Liverpool supporter.
One job.
Listen,
I'm gonna get it right. Liverpool supporter.
Guys, let's just like how Eddie started it. Some of the people that's here watching will recognize that you have some of the best broadcasters, DJs, and writers in the business. If I should say so myself. I know Eddie's doing a lot of things. You're broadcasting on. I see you on most Sundays. I wake up, I see this bag of talking go on.
No,
Eddie, how can people check in with you? And don't say the BBC. Actually, say the BBC.
Well, no, I mean, it's really weird because I phoned Robbie up because Robbie's my link to Spoonie because Spoonie saw me walking to the BBC and used the kind of language in the middle of the West End that you're not really supposed to use. I turned around to start fighting, and I saw it was him. but sadly, Spoonie, I think we're running about the same time. I wish that you could have been on the show, Jonathan Joseph, because it would be lovely to have you on there. I do.
Was it Jonathan Joseph? That is a real Scousers name, isn't it?
I do BBC Radio London 5 till 8, Monday to Friday, and hashtag no joke, which is here on a Sunday from 12 till 1. And this, as Rodders will tell you, it's a big one this weekend. I know we're talking football, but one of the most impactful things in my lifetime is the 40th anniversary on Monday of the New Cross Fire. So any broadcasters, a big weekend for broadcasters.
Yeah.
Rodney,
Sir,
are we still available in paperback form, or is it strictly online? How did they get at Rodney?
No.
we're still available the first Thursday of each month. We're a monthly publication now. But as you said, Robbo, in the main, we do our stuff online, growing numbers, some great articles. So, yeah, just follow The Voice online or on the monthly edition.
Brilliant sports journalist and also a brilliant sports journalist and DJ. And for some of the people that follow me, they would, especially now in Africa, East Africa, they're gonna think, Robbo, you know JJ, you know Jonathan, you know Spoonie, you're on TV every other week. I noticed that you're streaming across Kenya, Gambia, Ghana. They love you, son.
Yeah,
is that why he's got that beard?
I've been 7 years.
Is that why he's got that beard?
7 years for the Premier League on their international feed. So Africa is one of the continents we go out to. We go out to the whole Caribbean as well, North America, Southeast Asia, Australasia, India, Pakistan. So we really cover 800 to a billion people watch our program every week. So it's fantastic for me getting paid to talk about football. And then my other love, I've been doing some streams. I've been doing Spoonie's House during lockdown. I'm going to do one again on Sunday. And the reason I started doing it on a Sunday is because it kind of allowed me to play the music that I grew up listening to on a Sunday at home. So Sundays for me now are, rare groove, classic soul, reggae. I play some root stuff. So,
how many people, Spoonie, was surprised? Because people started to firm up, Eddie, I never know Spoonie know them tune there. Well, it's probably your roots, clearly, but have you been shocked by how many people have been surprised that you know them tune there?
Yeah.
What tune them is that, Rob? Yeah. Red, Eddie, what tune them is that?
No, he's playing... Ernie, when you listen to the show, it's a show from your soul. It's clearly not somebody who's told him to play it. And because maybe, when I hear you and Robbo play reggae, I know you play reggae, right? But I didn't know because we know Spoonie as a garage man, don't we?
Just Spoonie knew. That's what the intro. Wake up, just Spoon.
Ernie, I mean,
play some Abyssinians underneath your.
Yeah, it's
just Spoon.
Some Abyssinians, some Pablo Gad, a lot of Altanellis,
Robbo, he's been listening to us, Robbo.
Yeah.
He's been listening to us, bro. He's been listening to us.
Some Dennis Brown, but then as well as that, I've been finding some album cuts from Stevie Wonder, some Michael Jackson when he was with the Jackson 5, some. It wants a bit some Marcus Miller that we've been playing on there. So I've just gone in deep right across. And then, my mum was from St. Kitts, so don't think that I've been doing the show without playing some soca and calypso in there as well.
Spoonie, if you could just choose one, music or football, what would you choose?
Music ball.
Crazy.
So my learned friend, Robbo Ranx, where can we find Robbo Ranx? My learned friend, my Liverpool support friend.
You can find me right here. RobboRanx.com. the premonition dropped on me as I stepped out wondering what the hell to do. I saw that being an online broadcaster for many years at the BBC, that most people would say, "Yo, how do I find you? What channel? What frequency?" So I've been for like 13 years telling people, "Nah, there is no frequency." So when I left the BBC, it dawned on me there is no frequency. The only frequency is online. So I chose to online trod, and it happened to be by myself. And it was mainly, it wasn't to do RobboRanx.com. It was just mainly to be able to broadcast and take a music show and turn it into a slash podcast. And even podcast was a language we hardly use in our community, in our music. And and 5 years on, it's turned out to be a blessing in disguise. I can clearly show people this is where I am. This is how you just click the link and they're in. Boom. And here we are in 2021, and everybody is online. So it was, as I said, it was a blessing from above. You can catch me every Thursday, RobboRanx.com. The show goes out. We have over nearly 2 million streams, listens right now. So it's proving that people just follow your destiny. Just do your trod. You'll get there. Trust me. And if you love the music and you got a lot of passion, and people can feel the passion, and I know all the gentlemen in here, all passionate people. You know, it just rubs off. It's like Jurgen Klopp. It's just infectious.
Walk
That's right.
Your eyes, and you'll always walk alone. Yeah.
So Ernie, how did they catch you?
Oh my word, I'm all over the place, Robbo. You know, it's Vibes FM. You know, once they took that decision to lock down Choice, when I was there, I always said that if anything happens, I'll be going back to whence I came from. So the only port of call, of course, was Vibes FM. We're on there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 8 till 11. Every other week is Rice and Peas. Between
Ernie,
Yo.
tell them the best part. You're up in the sky, son.
I'm
when
coming to that.
over, people.
Robert,
when
it's still up there now, bro. It's still up there. I'm coming to that. Let me get to that, Robbo. Hold on. Because you have 2 million stream, but I have to go right all over the place, right? So you can also get me on Genesis Radio in Birmingham on Sundays between 2 and 5, and across the Caribbean on chrismixradio.com on Thursday, Friday in Jamaica on Cool 97. And then, of course, British Airways in the skies, in flight. Even though they've had the lockdown, the show's still up there. They contacted me the other day. They said, Ernie, Manchester United supporter, we need a new show from you for June. So we're in the process of getting that on, bro.
Yeah, so I was on the flight going to the Buju Banton concert, the biggest concert in history after Bob Marley's funeral. And I'm on the plane and I'm looking for, two film to watch, and boom, Daddy Ernie Super Jam on British Airways. Big up Ernie.
Yo,
big up.
We need to get on there because it's taken us so long to get on there. They thought we couldn't do it. That eventually
Ernie,
we've got. So it sets the trend.
Let me ask on your show, right, in the airways. Did you play this tune?
From Africa, with the intention to steal our culture. By and say, my one, my children, oh my brother,
I never played that.
Oh no! Don't start!
No, I'm not starting. I just want to play.
Ernie.
What?
Yeah, sound clash now, Rudders. What we let ourselves in for?
Ernie, settle.
Me and
just hold wadada.
You and Spoonie.
Just hold your wadada. Hold wadada. Please.
My show on British Airways is an international show. That tune there is a little bit retro, too retro. So, if I'm playing that on the plane, man, will start opening the door. And the grill, them start opening the door. All the people start opening the door.
Hey, that's crazy. Hey, listen, guys.
Yo,
we have to wrap up because we're 4 minutes over, Ernie. And I told you, I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to repost the show.
Yeah,
so
man.
don't worry about who's not watching live. They'll be watching because we will have that show spinning, and obviously before Sunday, people can they can check
Back on
out,
it
and
and
even
really
after, because those predictions from those Man United fans are laughable. But obviously, 4:30, the big game. And listen, we got to do it again soon. I think there's as I said, the FA Cup coming up. It's not really important, but guess what? We'll talk about some other bits and pieces and do it again.
Well,
6 o'clock.
I mean, obviously,
6 o'clock.
obviously we'll do the FA Cup, and then we'll be able to sort of. I know this game will be coming into it as well, right? So
yeah, it'd be an opportunity to debrief this game, won't it? So,
yes.
Okay.
God bless
All
you
right.
guys.
And
Can
we
we
got
just-
Arsenal coming up as well against Manchester United. That should be a scream.
I won't be there. I'm not interested.
Ernie. Ernie.
Yo.
So Rodney and Eddie are showing us that their bald is beautiful. Let's see your hairline, because I want to know why you're wearing a cap.
Oh, me, bruv. Hey. Some Afro run round here. Some Afros. Hey. It's English, bro. You know what I mean? That's not bad. My birthday's on Monday.
Happy birthday, Daddy Ernie.
Happy birthday.
Easy ledge.
Let me just say, Ernie, right? As a young man growing up in Hackney, and like I said, I was influenced by so many different music. But you were a pioneer, a trailblazer. You gave us all hope. You gave us all belief. So thank you very much, man. Just keep being a superstar.
Can I also say to all four of you that as a kid I've always admired all you guys.
You're the first black person I saw on telly.
Let me say this. I'll say this. I remember walking into Choice FM and I was welcomed, and that brother Edward used to deal with me horrible. Like, why'd you talk so loud? What do you move your hands like that?
Uptown, innit?
I like to say, he's not a DJ.
Yeah.
You're on radio at night time telling jokes. Get out of here.
What I'd like to say is that our contribution to our field has been immense over the last 4 decades.
Easy, dear.
Here we've got down to 2021, and a whole heap of things are going on. Although we still get in a fight neatly, this whole internet thing has been able for us to do our thing, and there's a lot of people who's taking a lot of encouragement from what we do individually. So long may it continue. After we've gone, they'll write it down that we made the difference. Boom.
All right, guys, listen, thanks for coming on. It was the Fixture List. Edward, Wood, Eddie, Nesta, Rodney Hines, Spoonie, and the great Daddy Ernie.
And Robbo, Ranx.
Listen, guys, peace. We'll link up after Sunday, right?
Yeah, man.
Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.
Boss of them Liverpool people if on Sunday.
Yeah.